Leicester City Football Club / ʻlɛstər unregistered trademark ʻsɪti / also known as the Foxes, is an English professional football club based in Leicester at the King Power Stadium. They will play in the Premier League in the 2014 Euro 15 season, having been promoted as champions of the Football League Championship in 2013 Euro 14. The club was founded in 1884 as Leicester Fosse, playing on a field near Fosse Road. They moved to Filbert Street in 1891 and played there for 111 years, before relocating to the nearby Walkers Stadium in 2002. Leicester were elected to the Football League in 1894. The club's highest ever finish was second place in the top flight, in Division 1 in 1928 to Euro 29. The club holds a joint highest 7 second-tier titles, as well as 1 League One title. They have won the League Cup 3 times and have been FA Cup runners-up 4 times, a tournament record for the most defeats in the final without having won the competition. The club has only spent 1 season outside the top 2 tiers of English football. History. Formed in 1884 by a group of old boys of Wykeston School as Leicester Fosse, the club joined the Football Association in 1890. Before moving to Filbert Street in 1891, the club played at 5 different grounds, including Victoria Park southeast of the city centre and the Belgrave Road cricket and bicycle grounds. The club also joined the Midland League in 1891, and was elected to Division 2 of the Football League in 1894 after finishing second. Leicester's first ever Football League game was a 4 Euro 3 defeat at Grimsby Town, with a first league win the following week, against Rotherham United at Filbert Street. The same season also saw the club's largest win to date, a 13 Euro 0 victory over Notts Olympic in an FA Cup qualifying game. In 1907 Euro 08 the club finished as second division runners-up, gaining promotion to the First Division, the highest level of English football. However, the club were relegated after a single season which included the club's record defeat, a 12 Euro 0 loss against Nottingham Forest. In 1919, when league football resumed after World War I, Leicester Fosse ceased trading due to financial difficulties of which little is known. The club was reformed as Leicester City Football Club, particularly appropriate as the borough of Leicester had recently been given city status. Following the name change, the club enjoyed moderate success in the 1920s. Under the management of Peter Hodge, who left in May 1926 to be replaced 2 months later by Willie Orr, and with record goalscorer Arthur Chandler in the side, they won the Division 2 title in 1924 Euro 25 and recorded their highest ever league finish in 1928 Euro 29 as runners-up by a single point to Sheffield Wednesday. However, the 1930s saw a downturn in fortunes, with the club relegated in 1934 Euro 35 and, after promotion in 1936 Euro 37, another relegation in 1938 Euro 39 would see them finish the decade in Division 2. City reached the FA Cup final for the first time in their history in 1949, losing 3 Euro 1 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. However, the club was celebrating a week later when a draw on the last day of the season ensured survival in Division 2. Leicester won the Division 2 championship in 1954, with the help of Arthur Rowley, one of the club's most prolific strikers. Although they were relegated from Division 1 the next season, under Dave Halliday they returned in 1957, with Rowley scoring a club record 44 goals in one season. Leicester remained in Division 1 until 1969, their longest period ever in the top flight. Under the management of Matt Gillies and his assistant Bert Johnson, Leicester reached the FA Cup final on another 2 occasions, but lost in both 1961 and 1963. As they lost to double winners Tottenham in 1961, they were England's representatives in the 1961 Euro 62 European Cup Winners' Cup. In the 1962 Euro 63 season, the club reached as high as first place in the First Division. Thanks to a sensational run of form on icy and frozen pitches, the club became nicknamed the Ice Kings. Eventually placed fourth, the club's best post-war finish. Gillies collected silverware in 1964, when Leicester beat Stoke 4 Euro 3 on aggregate to win the League Cup for the first time. Leicester also reached the League Cup final the following year, but lost 3-2 on aggregate to Chelsea. Gillies and Johnson became hugely influential on English football for their version of the whirl, and the switch system which utterly upset the traditional 1-11 formations in England. After a bad start to the season, Matt Gillies resigned in November 1968. His successor, Frank O'Hara, was unable to prevent relegation, but the club reached the FA Cup final in 1969 for the last time to date, losing to Manchester City 1-0. In 1971, Leicester were promoted back to Division 1, and won the Charity Shield for the only time. Unusually, due to Division 1 champions Arsenal's commitments in European competition, Division 2 winners Leicester were invited to play FA Cup runners-up Liverpool, beating them 1-0. Jimmy Bloomfield was appointed for the new season, and his team remained in the First Division for his tenure. No period since Bloomfield has seen the club remain in the top division for so long. Leicester reached the FA Cup semi-final in 1973 at Euro 74. Frank McLintock, a noted player for 7 years for Leicester's successful period from the late 50s to the mid-60s, succeeded Jimmy Bloomfield in 1977. City was relegated at the end of the 1977 Euro 78 season and McLintock resigned. Jock Wallace resumed the tradition of successful Scottish managers by steering Leicester to the Division 2 Championship in 1980. Unfortunately, Wallace was unable to keep Leicester in Division 1, but they reached the FA Cup semi-final in 1982. Under Wallace, one of City's most famous homegrown players, Gary Lineker, emerged into the first-team squad. Leicester's next manager was Gordon Milne, who achieved promotion in 1983. Lineker helped Leicester maintain their place in the First Division but was sold to Everton in 1985, and 2 years later Leicester were relegated, having failed to find a suitable replacement. Milne left in 1986 and was replaced in 1987 by David Pleat, who was sacked in January 1991 after a defeat that left City fourth from bottom. Gordon Lee was put in charge of the club until the end of the season. Leicester won their final game of the season, which guided them clear of relegation to the third tier of the Football League. Brian Little took over in 1991, and by the end of the 1991 Euro 92 season Leicester had reached a playoff final for promotion to the newly formed Premiership, losing to Blackburn Rovers. The club also reached the playoff final the following year, losing 4-3 to Swindon Town, having come back from 3-0 down. In 1993 Euro 94 City were promoted from the playoffs, beating Derby County 2-1 in the final. Little quit as Leicester manager the following November to take charge at Aston Villa, and his successor Mark McKee was unable to save Leicester from finishing second from bottom in the 1994 Euro 95 season. McKee left the club unexpectedly in December 1995 whilst Leicester were top of Division 1 to take charge of Wolverhampton Wanderers. McKee was replaced by Martin O'Neill. Under O'Neill, Leicester qualified for the 1995 Euro 96 Division 1 promotion playoffs and beat Crystal Palace 2-1 with a last-gasp Steve Claridge goal, securing an immediate return to the Premiership. Following promotion, Leicester established themselves in the Premiership with 4 successive top 10 finishes. O'Neill was the first manager to win silverware for 26 years, winning the League Cup twice, in 1997 and 2000, and Leicester were runners-up in 1999. Thus the club qualified for the UEFA Cup in 1997, Euro 98 and 2000 Euro 01, the club's first European competition since 1961. In June 2000 O'Neill was lured to Celtic. O'Neill was replaced by former England U21 coach Peter Taylor. During this time, Leicester's last European appearance ended in a 3-1 defeat to Red Star Belgrade on September 28, 2000 in the 2001 UEFA Cup. After a long run of poor results, Taylor was sacked in October 2001. Taylor was replaced by a management team of Dave Bassett and Mickey Adams, but they could not prevent City's last season at Filbert Street ending in relegation from the Premiership. Leicester moved into the new 32,500-seat Walkers Stadium at the start of the 2002 Euro 03 season. Walkers, the Leicestershire-based crisp manufacturers, acquired the naming rights for a 10-year period. In October 2002, the club went into administration with debts of £30 a million. Some of the reasons were the loss of TV money, the large wage bill, lower than expected fees for players transferred to other clubs and the £37 a million cost of the new stadium. Adams was banned from the transfer market for most of the season, even after the club was rescued by a takeover by a consortium led by Gary Lineker. Adams guided Leicester to runners-up spot in Division 1 and automatic promotion back to the Premiership with more than 90 points. Leicester only lasted one season in the top flight and were relegated back to the newly labelled Championship, previously known as Division 1. When Adams resigned as manager in October 2004, Craig Levein was appointed boss. This would prove to be an unsuccessful period, and after 15 months in charge and flirting with relegation, Levein was sacked. Assistant manager Rob Kelly took over as caretaker manager, and after winning 3 out of 4 games was appointed to see out the rest of the season. Kelly steered Leicester to safety and in April 2006 was given the manager's job on a permanent basis. In October 2006, ex-Portsmouth chairman Milan Mandaraya was quoted as saying he was interested in buying the club, reportedly at a price of around £6 a million, with the current playing squad valued at roughly £4.2 a million. The takeover was formally announced on February 13, 2007. On April 11, 2007, Rob Kelly was sacked as manager and Nigel Worthington appointed as caretaker manager until the end of the season. Worthington saved the club from relegation, but was not offered the job on a permanent basis. On May 25, 2007, the club announced former MK Dons manager Martin Allen as their new manager with a 3-year contract. Allen's relationship with Mandaraya became tense, and after only 4 games Allen left by mutual consent on August 29, 2007. On September 13, 2007, Mandaraya announced Gary Megson as the new manager of the club, citing Megson's wealth of experience as a deciding factor in the appointment. However, Megson left on October 24, 2007 after only 6 weeks in charge, following an approach made for his services by Bolton Wanderers. Mandaraya placed Frank Burrows and Jerry Taggart in the shared position as caretaker managers until a professional manager was appointed. On November 22, Ian Holloway was appointed manager. Holloway made history when he became the first Leicester manager in over 50 years to win his first league game in charge, beating Bristol City 2-0. Despite this, Leicester were relegated from the Championship at the end of the 2007-08 season after drawing 0-0 with Stoke City, marking the 2008-09 season as Leicester's first season outside the top 2 tiers of English football. Their fall from grace would also see Holloway leave by mutual consent after less than a season at the club, being replaced by Nigel Pearson. The club returned to the Championship at the first attempt, finishing as champions of League One after a 2-0 win at Southend United with 2 games in hand. The 2009-2010 season saw Leicester's revival under Pearson continue, as the club finished 5th and reached the Championship playoffs in their first season back in the second tier. Though after a battling performance coming from 2-0 down on aggregate, away to Cardiff City, to briefly led 3-2, they eventually lost to a penalty shootout in the playoff semi-final. On Tuesday 29 June 2010, it was confirmed that Nigel Pearson had left Leicester to become the manager of Hull City because he felt that the club seemed reluctant to keep him, and that Paulo Sousa had been the club's guest at both playoff games, hinting at a possible replacement. On Wednesday 7 July 2010, Paulo Sousa was confirmed as Pearson's replacement. In August 2010, following agreement on a 3-year shirt sponsorship deal with duty-free retailers the King Power Group, Mandaraya sold the club to a Thai-led consortium named Asian Football Investments fronted by King Power Group's Vishal Ruxrayagsawn. Mandaraya, an investor in AFI, was retained as club chairman. On October 1, 2010, after a poor start that saw Leicester bottom of the Championship with only 1 win out of the first 9 league games, Paulo Sousa was sacked by the club with immediate effect. 2 days later, Sven Gahr Paragraph Ran Eriksson, who had been approached by the club after the 6-1 loss to then bottom of the table Portsmouth 2 weeks earlier, was appointed as his replacement. signing a 2-year contract with the club. On February 10, 2011, Vishal part of the Thai-based Asia Football Investments Consortium, was appointed new chairman of the club after Mandaraya left in November to take over Sheffield Wednesday. Leicester were favourites for promotion in the 2011 Euro 12 season, but on October 24, 2011, following an inconsistent start with the Foxes winning just 5 out of their first 13 games, Sven Paragraph Ran Eriksson left the club by mutual consent. 3 weeks later, on November 15, 2011, Nigel Pearson was confirmed to be returning to the club as Eriksson's successor. Pearson would go on to lead the Foxes to a 6th-place finish in the 2012 Euro 2013 season, ensuring Leicester City were in the Championship playoffs after a last-gasp 3 Euro 2 away win at local rivals Nottingham Forest. However, they would go on to lose out in the playoff semi-final 3 Euro 2 on aggregate to Watford after Anthony Knockaert missed a late penalty and Troy Deeney scored right at the end after a swift counter-attack from Emmanuel Almunia double save. In April 2014, a 2 Euro 1 win over Sheffield Wednesday, combined with losses by Queen's Park Rangers and Derby County, allowed Leicester City to clinch a promotion to the Premier League after a 10-year absence. On April 22, 2014, a 1-0 victory over Bolton Wanderers FC at the Reebok Stadium saw Leicester become the champions of the 2013-14 Football League Championship. Colours, crest and traditions. The club's home colours of royal blue and white have been used for the team's kits throughout most of its history. The first sponsorship logo to appear on a Leicester shirt was the Diamond Coupe in 1983. British snack food manufacturer Walker's Crisps held a long association with the club, sponsoring them from 1987 to 2001. An image of a fox was first incorporated into the club crest in 1948, as Leicestershire is known for foxes and fox hunting. This is the origin of the nickname the Foxes. The club mascot is a character called Filbert Fox. There are also secondary characters Vicky Vixen, and Cousin Dennis. The current shirt badge has been used since 1992. In the 2009 Euro 10 season, which was the 125th year anniversary, the home kit featured no sponsor and a new central crest with 125 years below. The crest was slightly changed. This change included the fox in the crest to have a white area under its nose. The circles in the crest were also moved around. In another reference Leicestershire's tradition of hunting, the club adopted the post-horn gallop in 1941, although the origin is a 19th-century coachman's tune to signal mail was arriving. It was played over the PA system as the teams came out of the tunnel at all home games. However, the club since replaced it with a jazzed-up modern version, although now it is played live on pitch before the teams emerge from the tunnel. Sponsors, Stadium. In their early years, Leicester played at numerous grounds, but have only played at 2 since they joined the Football League. When first starting out they played on a field by the Fosse Road, hence the original name Leicester Fosse. They moved from there to Victoria Park, and subsequently to Belgrave Road. Upon turning professional the club moved to Mill Lane. After eviction from Mill Lane the club played at the county cricket ground while seeking a new ground. The club secured the use of an area of ground by Filbert Street, and moved there in 1891. Some improvements by noted football architect Archibald Leitch occurred in the Edwardian era, and in 1927 a new 2-tier stand was built, named the Double Decker, a name it would keep till the ground's closure in 2002. The ground wasn't developed any further, apart from compulsory seating being added, till 1993 when work began on the new curling stand. The stand was impressive while the rest of the ground was untouched since at least the 1920s. This led manager Martin O'Neill to say he used to lead new signings out backwards so they only saw the curling stand. The club moved away from Filbert Street in 2002 to a new 32,500 all-seater stadium. The stadium was originally named Filbert Way and later renamed to Walker's Stadium in a deal with food manufacturers Walker's, whose brand logo can be found at various points around the outside of the stadium. The first match the Walkers hosted was a friendly against Athletic Bilbao, The game was drawn 1-1 with Tycho of Bilbao being the first scorer at the stadium and Jordan Stewart being the first City player to score, and the first competitive match was a 2-0 victory against Watford. The stadium has since hosted an England international against Serbia and Montenegro which finished 2-1 to England, as well as internationals between Brazil and Jamaica and Ghana. More recently the stadium has been used to host the Heineken Cup European Rugby semi-finals for the Leicester Tigers Rugby Club, itself based within a mile of the Walkers Stadium. On August 19, 2010, it emerged that the new owners King Power wanted to rename the stadium the King Power Stadium, and had plans to increase the capacity to 42,000 should Leicester secure promotion. On July 7, 2011, Leicester City confirmed that the Walkers Stadium would now be known as the King Power Stadium. The King Power Stadium has also honoured past greats of the club, by naming suites and lounges inside the stadium after the club's former players Gordon Banks, Adam Black, Arthur Chandler, Gary Lineker, Arthur Rowley, Sepp Smith, Keith Weller and former manager Jimmy Bloomfield. Support: as of the 2011 Euro 12 season, Leicester had the 5th best home support outside the Premier League and the 4th best away support in the Football League. Famous supporters of the club include Engelbert Humperdinck, former City and England striker and Match of the Day presenter, Gary Lineker, Football League show and late kick-off presenter, Manish Barzin, Gary Newburn, Kasabian members, Tom Meagan and Serge Pizzorno, singer and the X Factor winner Sam Bailey, as well as soap stars Thomas Law and David Nielsen. Rival clubs, main articles, Leicester City F.C. and Nottingham Forest F.C. rivalry, Derby County F.C. and Leicester City F.C. rivalry, M69 Derby. Leicester fans consider Nottingham Forest to be their primary rivals. The club's secondary rivals are Derby County with whom they both contest the East Midlands Derby. Despite being based in the West Midlands, Leicester's other rivals in more recent years have been Coventry City, who are based just 24 miles away. The game between the two clubs has become known as the M69 Derby, taking its name from the motorway connecting the two cities. European record, notes: Prairie, preliminary round, 1R, first round, club honours, domestic competitions, league, English first tier, runners-up, 1928 to Euro 29. English second tier, champions, 1924 a Euro 25, 1936 a Euro 37, 1953 a Euro 54, 1956 a Euro 57, 1970 a Euro 71, 1979 a Euro 80, 2013 a Euro 14, runners-up, 1907 a Euro 08, 2002 a Euro 03, playoff winners, 1993 a Euro 94, 1995 a Euro 96, runners-up, 1991 a Euro 92, 1992 a Euro 93. English third tier, champions, 2008 a Euro 09. Cup, FA Cup, runners-up, 1949, 1961, 1963, 1969. Football League Cup, winners, 1964, 1997, 2000, runners-up, 1965, 1999. FA Charity Shield, winners, 1971. Regional competitions, War League South, champions, 1942. Midland War Cup, winners, 1941. Managerial history. Up until Peter Hodge was hired after World War I, the club had no official manager. A nominal role of secretary-manager was employed, though the board and the selection committee took control of most team affairs. It was Hodge who instated a system at the club for the manager having complete control over player and staff recruitment, team selection and tactics. Though Hodge was originally also titled secretary-manager, he has retrospectively been named as the club's first official manager. Leicester have had a total of 9 permanent secretary-managers and 34 permanent managers. Current manager Nigel Pearson and Peter Hodge have both had 2 separate spells in charge the club. Dave Bassett also had a second spell as caretaker manager after his spell as permanent manager. Listed below is Leicester's complete managerial history. Managers, note. During the 1986 Euro 87 season, both Gordon Milne and Brian Hamilton shared managerial duties, with Milne assuming the title general manager, and Hamilton assuming the title team manager, records and statistics. Graham Cross holds the record for the most Leicester appearances, with the defender playing 599 games between 1960 and Euro 1976, although Adam Black holds the record for the most appearances in the league with 528 between 1920 and Euro 1935. Striker Arthur Chandler is currently the club's all-time record goal scorer, netting 273 in his 12 years at the club. He also found the net in 8 consecutive matches in the 1924 Euro 25 season. The most goals managed in a single season for the club is 44 by Arthur Rowley, in the 1956 Euro 57 season. The fastest goal in the club's history was scored by Matty Fryatt, when he netted after just 9 seconds against Preston North End in April 2006. The record transfer fee paid by Leicester for a player was around £5 a million for Wolverhampton Wanderers striker Adekin Beard. The highest transfer fee Leicester have ever received is £11 a million for the deal taking Emile Heskey to Liverpool. The club's record attendance is 47,298 against Tottenham Hotspur at Filbert Street, in a fifth-round FA Cup clash in 1928. The highest league record at their current home, the King Power Stadium, is 32,148 for a competitive match against Newcastle United on December 26, 2003. However, the highest ever attendance of 32,188 was seen at a pre-season friendly against Spanish giants Real Madrid on July 30, 2011. Leicester City are joint equal with Manchester City for having won the most English second-tier titles. The club has reached 4 FA Cup finals, yet lost them all. This is the record for the most FA Cup final appearances without winning the trophy. Leicester City are one of only 2 clubs to have won the Charity Shield despite never winning either the League Championship or the FA Cup. Leicester's longest ever unbeaten run in the league was between November 1, 2008 and March 7, 2009, to which they remained unbeaten for 23 games on their way to the League One title. Their longest run of consecutive victories in the league is 9, which they achieved between December 21, 2013 and February 1, 2014. Leicester's highest ever league finish was second in the Football League Division 1 in 1928 to Euro 29. Their lowest ever league finish was first in Football League 1 in 2008 to Euro 09. League history. Since their election to the Football League in 1894, Leicester have spent much of their history yo-yoing between the top 2 tiers in English football. Leicester have played outside the top 2 tiers only once in their history to date. During the 2008 Euro 09 season they played in League One, the third tier of English football, after relegation from the Championship the season prior, but were promptly promoted back as champions. Leicester have never played lower than the third tier of English football. L1 equals Level 1 of the Football League system. L2 equals Level 2 of the Football League system. L3 equals Level 3 of the Football League system. Seasons spent at Level 1 of the Football League system, 46, seasons spent at Level 2 of the Football League system, 62, seasons spent at Level 3 of the Football League system, 1, seasons spent at Level 4 of the Football League system, 0, players, first team squad, as of July 14, 2014. Note: flags indicate national team as defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players may hold more than one non-FIFA nationality. Out on loan, note: flags indicate national team as defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players may hold more than one non-FIFA nationality. Academy. Past players. For a list of notable past players in searchable table format, see List of Leicester City F.C. players. For a list of all Leicester City players with a Wikipedia article, see category, Leicester City F.C. players, club staff, as of July 14, 2013, player statistics, captains, player of the year. Leicester City's Player of the Year award is voted for by the club's supporters at the end of every season. English Hall of Fame members. The following have played for Leicester and have been inducted into the English Football Hall of Fame: Gordon Banks 2002, Peter Shilton 2002, Gary Lineker 2003, Don Revie 2004, Frank McClintock 2009, Football League 100 Legends. The Football League 100 Legends is a list of 100 legendary football players produced by the Football League in 1998, to celebrate the 100th season of league football. It also included Premier League players, and the following former Leicester City players were included: Arthur Rowley, Gordon Banks, Frank McClintock, Peter Shilton, Gary Lineker. World Cup players. The following players have been selected by their country in the World Cup finals, while playing for Leicester: John Anderson, Willie Cunningham, Ken Leake. Gordon Banks won the 1966 World Cup while at Leicester, John O'Neill, Paul Ramsey, Gary McAllister, David Kelly, Matt Elliott, Casey Keller, Muzzy Isse, Riyad Mahrez. Players with over 300 appearances for Leicester, includes competitive appearances only. Players with over 50 goals for Leicester, includes competitive appearances only. Current players in bold. Personnel honours and awards. European Footballer of the Year nominee. The following players have been nominated for the Ballon d'Or Award for European Footballer of the Year while playing for Leicester: Gordon Banks, English Golden Boot. The following players have won the English Golden Boot for being the country's top goal scorer, while at Leicester: Gary Lineker, English Second Division Golden Boot. The following players have won the Golden Boot for being the top goal scorer in the second tier of English football while at Leicester: David Skeer, Arthur Chandler, Jack Bowers, Arthur Rowley, Willie Gardner, Gary Lineker. Football League Awards Player of the Year. The following players have been named the best player in their division in the Football League Awards while at Leicester: Matty Fryatt, LMA Manager of the Year. The following managers have been named the LMA Manager of the Year in their division while at Leicester: Nigel Pearson, PFA Team of the Year. The following players have been named the PFA Team of the Year while at Leicester: 1979 Euro Second Division Euro Mark Wellington, 1982 Euro Second Division Euro Mark Wellington, 1989 Euro Second Division A. Euro Gary McAllister, 1990 Euro Second Division Euro Gary McAllister, 1996 Euro First Division Euro Gary Parker, Steve Claridge, 2003 Euro First Division Euro Muzzy Isse, Paul Dickoff, 2009 Euro League One Euro Jack Hobbs, Matt Oakley, Matty Fryatt, 2011 Euro Championship Euro Kyle Norton, Andy King, 2013 Euro Championship Euro Kasper Schmeichel, Wes Morgan, 2014 Euro Championship Euro Kasper Schmeichel, Wes Morgan, Danny Drinkwater. References 77. http www.lcfc.com match report /010,274 to 58,432, 00 html, 78. http www.lcfc.com match report /010,274 to 61,395, 00 html, further reading. External links, official website, Leicester City FC. On BBC Sport, Club News Euro Recent Results Euro Upcoming Fixtures Euro Club Statistics, BBC Leicester Euro in Pictures, 125 Years of Leicester City.